This video is to explain reading the thermostat and the basic functions of the thermostat. So let's go over a few of the things we see on the display. The first is the biggest white numbers in the middle. That's going to tell you the temperature inside the home. Okay. The second thing that goes along with that is the small numbers in the circle here. That's going to tell you the set point that you have the thermostat set to. So this symbol up here does change. Right now it's on the flame symbol that represents heat. If we change it to cooling, it'll be a little snowflake symbol that represents cooling. Down here is a water drop symbol that tells you the relative humidity inside the home. And you have a couple other things here as well. So this little message box tells you that around 8:29 a.m. the air is going to reach 73 degrees in the home and the system's going to shut off and no longer be heating. These three lines here is your main settings. Many options in there. This symbol here is the weather setting. That'll only work if the thermostat is connected to Wi-Fi. And over here is a quick settings menu that we'll go over in a few. Okay, so if you want to change the set point, the temperature on the thermostat, hold down with your finger here and you can slide up and down. Change it to whichever temperature you want. We can set it down, 66, and it'll show you a little display that, hey, the thermostat's set to 66 degrees and it's going to hold there. Another thing you'll notice is the flame is no longer red, it's just white, meaning the system is off. If we want to change from heating to cooling, we can touch the symbol and it'll pull up this display. We can turn it to cooling, and now you see some things have changed. It's mostly in blue color tones. We have the snowflake symbol here. We still have the indoor temperature here, 73 degrees. And we have our set point is at 66 degrees. Same thing, if we want to change this, we can hold this, change it up and down. Okay. So you can go to this display here again, turn it back to heating. You have a couple other options here as well. You have auto and off. You can pick off and it just completely turns the system off. Doesn't even give you an option to change the temperature, anything like that. So another way you can go about doing this is going to the main settings tab and going to system. From here, you can go to HVAC mode, and you have the same options here: heat, cool, auto, off. Something to talk about here is the auto feature. Okay, let's turn auto on and go back again, and now we're in the auto. So if you look at the display here, it shows the snowflake and the flame symbol, meaning heating and cooling. Now it's not going to do heating and cooling at the same time. What this feature is most handy for is for our springs or our fall, where in the morning the temperature can be very cold, where you're going to want the heater, but by the afternoon it can heat up very, very hot outside, where you might want to run the AC for a little bit. So instead of having to run back and forth to your thermostat all the time, you can set two different set points on your thermostat. So you have the blue numbers in the top here. You can set the cooling set point, and let's say we want it 78. So if the temperature in our home reaches above 78, it's going to turn on the AC. But in the morning, we want it down to, let's say, we don't want it to get colder than 70 degrees. So we're currently at 73 degrees in the home, so the thermostat's not on heating or cooling. It's just off. But if the temperature drops down overnight in the early morning to 70 or lower, it's going to turn on the heating. If it rises in the afternoon when it's hot outside to 78 or above, it's going to turn on for cooling. Automatically keeps you a little more comfortable. That's what the auto feature is. Another thing to be aware of, let's go back to our main settings and go to System, is the fan setting. Okay, this is the indoor motor that blows the air through your vents. Generally, you want to leave that set to auto or off. On this thermostat, it's going to be called 0 minutes. If you change this number here, it'll make the fan run for however many minutes every single hour that you tell it to. So if you set it to 55 minutes, that means 55 minutes out of every hour, the indoor motor is going to be running, whether you want heating or cooling, no matter what, it's just going to be running. So that can be wasteful for the electricity bill, and that can give you a callback because the residents will think the AC or the heater's running all the time without shutting off when it's just the fan. So something to check is to make sure that's always set to 0 here. That's good. But there's another place to check out too to make sure that another setting for the fan isn't on as well. So let's go back and back again, and let's go to this quick settings here on the main display. Okay, you have fan hold. Let's go fan hold. So this is okay, just make sure it's not set to indefinitely. The fan, if it's set to indefinitely, will never turn off, will keep running. So we have the first setting in the main settings screen set to 0 minutes, and just make sure this setting's not set to fan indefinitely. And that's all the basic features of this thermostat and how to operate it on the basic level.